Fellas, we are back. Microphone on deck. Microphone check. Microphone check. Uh, Today, we're going to talk about relationship advice. A lot of trans men are in relationships or have been in relationships that have turned out to be horrible. You had your heart broken. Women have left you astray. You have no idea why. Well, today, I'm going to teach you how to be treated like a man. But a lot of it is going to come from what you have to do to ensure that you receive that treatment. A lot of things that you've been told, some things you've been witnessed. I've seen a lot of guys take on some fuck boy traits after a lot of men that you model that you think may be a good look that it's really not. And I did it too, where you have several different women and you run over here and she's a late night this and this one cooks you this. I had women that used to drop my clothes off after they were washed while I was in college. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's always been a thing, but I also came to realize that in the end, whenever I finally decided I wanted to get my shit together, and she was like, and broke my heart, and then I'm walking around like, man, fuck her, man. But I never took responsibility for the part that I played in all that. Whenever I did have her eating out the palm of my hand, I misused it. Well, today, I'm going to tell you a few things that will help you for sure in your relationship. I've never ever hurt for a woman, never had to lie to one, and I'm happily married right now to a baddie. Anyway, my name is Dr. Leo. I am your human movement scientist. I am an FTM man, transitioned going on 30 years ago. I am a epidemiologist, a research scientist, and I am a master trainer. Yes, I am smart. Um, that's one of the things that's going to be on this list is making sure that your caliber matches the chick that you deal with. All right, let's get it going. First and foremost, before anything, deal with your shit before you try to be with somebody. Nobody wants a whiny crybaby who can't handle being a part of life, especially knowing who you are and the fact that you're a transgender man. No woman wants to re-raise you. Nobody wants to coddle you or baby you. She has her own shit going on, and you're not there to match her energy when it comes to her coming home and crashing out. You are the rock. I've talked to so many women that were like, I liked him a lot, but I had no space. Every time I start crashing out, he crashed out right along with me because you're not getting your shit off where you need to. You need to be able to control yourself. Let her do her little crash out. Be like, yep, fuck them. No, go chill or go work out. My wife, when she crashes out about work, I listen, I support, co-sign where I need to, and then I'll be like, why don't you just go work out? Or I do other things. Or I just let her be. Let her have her space. After she vents and gets it off, I don't then in turn come and be like, yeah, and let me tell you what sons I did. You don't do that. You're the leader. That doesn't mean you don't have space, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't, but that should be solidified already. Brings me to my number one. Make sure when you first meet a woman, when you're talking to her, when you're getting into that phase where it's lovey dovey, do not get yourself caught up in the fact that it's lovey dovey and somebody likes your dumb ass. That's where you lay out what you need. You lay out your I will not take, I will not put up with. This is my non negotiables. These are my values. This is where I'm headed in life. That's where you assess some shit. And I'm not talking about somebody you going to spend the night with. I'm talking about somebody you really going to do this with. Somebody you really like that you could potentially love. Because I'd much rather somebody like me than love me because love fades. Like, that means they're really fucking with you. That means whenever you piss them off or you do something that it's not fair weather, it's like, but that's my best friend. We're going to talk it out. That's like. You only get that when you establish certain things in the beginning together. And I'm not talking about falling for somebody who's listened to what you complain about. And then they say, okay, well, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do this. Or they do the opposite of what you complained about. That's why you have to watch your shit whenever you enter. Because if you enter in with this whole list of complaints, you've now set yourself up to be used. Because all she has to do is check off that list, and she got your ass. And let her do a couple freaky deaky things on top of that, which most of the women that are going to check off that list can do. She really got you. It's not going to end well. Trust me. Number two, if you're jealous, if you are insecure, if you are not assured of yourself as the man you are, two things. One, either don't get into a relationship or don't be with an attractive woman. My wife is bad and she's professional. I would be stupid to think that there aren't at least 3 or 4 men a day trying. I'm not worried because she's my wife. Because them 3, 4, 5, 6, 10,000 are not me. Because I fit the list of things that I'm telling you right now. And also because I ain't no fucking simp. You don't want to be here, bye. There's a certain amount of confidence that comes with that too. And I know the same applies to me. If I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, she's not doing what she's supposed to, same. If you're jealous, you are going to annoy the shit out of your lady. She'll put up with it for a bit because at first it may seem cute. And then she'll try and heal you because, he's been through some things and I understand. But then it's going to get to a point where she's going to be like, all right, damn, look, I'm here with you. Now, if you're going to keep accusing me, then I'm going to do my thing. And when I tell you a woman will do her thing in a way where it will break your fucking heart to shreds, you think you a pimp until you get played by a woman that knows the game. Ask any man. And if you don't admit to it, actually, don't even ask any man. Look at the most bitter ones. Not only can you tell from the outside that they've been played, but they've been played real well. Because they've got to a point where they're like, fuck bitches. Get money. Don't be a fuckboy. That's number 3. Don't take on these characteristics of idiots. There is honorability in being a good man. Being a good man doesn't mean that you have to be a punk. Doesn't mean you have to be a simp. But you can like women. That is just fine. It's your choice that makes you not like women. That's what you need to deal with. It ain't got shit to do with her. You chose her. Same way that she chose him. When you start taking responsibility for your part in the choice, for your participation, because remember, that's all you can control, it becomes so much easier. Because then you know what to look for in yourself. Like, oh, you did that before. Hell to the no, not this time. And you start erasing what you typed. And you find out, are you reciprocating what you want? Do you give what you're asking for? It's that simple. What you bringing to the table? Are you just coming to the table whining and crying? And then you can fuck her right. You're whining and crying. Y'all have a good time. You might a little bit is good. You might drink a little bit is good. But what do you have to offer in the end? What is it that she would chase? Because she could get all that from someone else. And especially if you're looking for a woman of good caliber. You can't come with a woman of good caliber with shit like that because she's fine by herself. And people that don't understand that are the people that I know you have no peace alone. Because once you find peace by yourself, there's nothing like it. You won't allow somebody to step in and fuck it up. Don't tell her everything. What does don't tell her everything mean? That means every single time something happens to you, don't think to pick up the phone and call your wife. Every single misgender, don't call your girlfriend. When you come home, don't cry every single night about it. Get a therapist, find someone that's an elder that you can talk to who can give you some real advice, some mentors that will lead you, but do not come home every single day and unload on your wife. It is going to get on her nerves. The big things, yes. If you don't have the discernment to decipher between what is a fire and what's just smoke and what's an ember, then you talk to a therapist for sure. Because it's time to dive deep. If everything is, oh my God, there's a problem. No one's going to respect you. That's no self-control. That's no self-management. Not to mention life management. So if you continually put yourself in certain situations and then cry and don't handle it, what's that showing your lady? How can she trust you to lead? That's next, leading. Women like to actually be led, but she's not going to follow a fool. She's not going to follow a crybaby. She's not going to follow somebody irresponsible. She's not going to follow somebody arrogant. What will she follow? Proof. Security. I was telling my wife yesterday, I was washing dishes. She was standing in the kitchen. I was telling her, I was like, the reason why I don't take Mondays off is because you have Mondays off and I wanted to give you the day to yourself. What she told me later on, I actually feel more secure when you're here with me on Mondays and we're off together. I like it. Mind you, we're in our separate offices. We see each other rarely throughout the day because she's working online, I'm working online, but it's the point. That right there let me know I'm doing what I need to be doing. It made me feel good as a man. Because a lot of women, when their husbands leave, they're like, "Oh Lord, thank God, thank you, he gone to work." Woo. I've worked with guys like that. Those are the guys that all they can tell you about is the stuff they have: their truck, their car, their watch, their house. They can't tell you shit else good about their life. I can tell you that every day, if she makes it home first or I make it home first, I'm getting a kiss through the front door. I'm getting bombarded by dogs and her. I can tell you that she just came back from the grocery store and everything that's my favorite, everything that I like is absolutely in the kitchen. She can also go through a list of things about me. Reciprocity. Make sure you come in with it if that's what you want. And sometimes you got to lead with it because some women have to be taught. But that's another thing. That's setting that shit in the beginning. Find out, does she have a good relationship with her family? Does she have a good relationship with her father? How does she treat her friends? Listen to how she tells you stories about how certain situations ended. Is it always everybody else? Because she's listening to you the same way. Use your head, man, when you choose a woman with kids. And this is the last one. When you choose a woman with children, know that they have a father. And at some point, you're going to feel less than because their father is going to come around or he's going to come up or it's going to be, "You're not my daddy." It's going to be something. And you cannot be everything to each kid and her all the time. At some point, you're going to have to be the bad guy if you're leading in the household. Do not choose a woman with kids because you went through something when you were little and you're trying to replace a family that exists right now. You're trying to replace a family that didn't exist then. I'm sorry. Choose a woman with kids because you and her have talked. You've met the babies beforehand a few times. Understand that, it's your story to tell. She shouldn't go to them and tell them your entire story because it's yours. That establishes your first trustful relationship. And yes, every child that I raised knew. They didn't give a damn. I transitioned while I was with three of the little ones. And when I tell you my name went from my old name to Liam overnight, just like that, they were like, "Yay!" They were like, "So now can we bring you to school for our dad stuff?" Kids are much better than adults. Kids are much better than adults. But the adults in the situation are the people you got to watch for. That's why you got to make sure who you choose. And if you want her children, specifically her children, to be a part of your life, is her life chaos with her baby daddy? Do you want to deal with that shit all the time? If you get excited when she's arguing with her baby daddy, go to therapy because you have an addiction to chaos. That should be an immediate turnoff. When you see someone that has no conflict resolution with someone they made a person with, and it can get addictive. That's why so many people love hanging out in horrible environments because it's like a dopamine charge the whole time. But when you finally learn yourself, you're growing up, you want more, you set your standards higher, that shit is annoying. It's a turnoff. And you can smell it from a mile away. You can tell by the way, like I said before, how she talks, what she talks about, how she explains things, her family relationships, the behavior of her children. If she got a bucket full of hood boogers, then you know what's up. And no, that's not bad to say because I've seen it. We've all seen it. We've all tried to think, we've tried to fix it. And a lot of men, biologically born men, all the way to trans guys, are ashamed to admit that you've tried to fix it. Don't be ashamed to admit that. What you need to do is just heal yourself and you'll get beyond it. And you can actually meet a good woman instead of sitting around and saying, "Fuck all women." Because that's not the case. And some of you need to learn context. Nothing applies generally to anyone, except there are patterns. If you're good enough, you can recognize the patterns. If you're an idiot, you're just going to believe whatever's told to you and then say, "Oh, pattern, wrong." When you learn yourself, you learn other people. Fellas, don't forget that. Like, share, subscribe, and go out there and find a woman that's going to treat you like a man. Don't do any of that shit that I just told you about, and she will. 100%. Seamlessly. Because, you don't remind her of herself. Y'all take care. I'll see you next time.